Hello parents, welcome to back to school night. This is for Ap A. I'd like to welcome you all. I will go through an introduction of myself, give you a little course description of what this class covers, and then talk about the student expectation and mostly how your student can succeed in this class. So my contact information is Mark_Kwong. There's this underscore right there at fuhsd.org. My phone number, this is the school's phone number here. Just contact me. I will find a time to meet if you would like. I will respond quite promptly to emails. Honestly, not very many people ever call. Really, email is the best way. I've been in the Silicon Valley since 1989. I graduated from Berkeley back in 1989 with my master's in engineering. I got my bachelor's in electrical engineering computer science in 87. I graduated from San Jose State in 2012 with my teaching credential in math. I actually used to teach math at Lynbrook for about 6 years, and then I switched over into computer science. Previously, prior to teaching, I worked at a company called LSI, which no longer exists, a company called Magnum Semiconductor, which no longer exists, and a company called Cavium Networks, which also no longer exists. They got bought out by Marvell. But before that happened, I left Cavium Networks and I began teaching at Lynbrook in 2013. This is now my 10th year at Lynbrook, and I've been teaching computer science for I think this is my 4th or 5th year now. Okay, so the AP Compsci A class, this is the class we're talking about here. It's an AP class. It's a college type of class. It's an aggressive class. It does, in some ways, it benefits if you've taken the Java class prior to it. So at Lynbrook, we have this Java programming class, but technically, there is no prerequisites for this class, although we find that it helps the students greatly if they've had some prior programming experience, because this class does move very quickly, which I will kind of talk about in a bit. Let me talk about APCS Principles just while I'm here. APCS Principles is another AP class at Lynbrook, although it's really a beginner class, and I might even say it's more of a beginner class than the Java class is. Since CS Principles covers a whole wide topic of computer science, including, web browsing and the internet and security and things like that. Java programming is more geared towards specifically programming, which then leads to this class, which is all about programming as well. So grading wise, we have different categories. We have the homework, the quizzes, the labs, which is 40%. We have tests and projects, which are 40% as well. And then the finals, which is the final 20% of it all. Late work is a 10% penalty per day late. And I do require or ask that the students email me when they turn in any sort of late work, because typically all of our assignments are submitted electronically, and it's not like a paper that's handed to me, so I don't always know when late work has been turned in. I will update Schoology pretty regularly, so you will find that the student's Schoology is a very good reflection of their current grade. If they want me to update a late assignment, I don't necessarily update that the very next day I get the email. It might be up to a week before I update the Schoology grade book to make it up to date. But in general, it is fairly accurate and indicative of their score. Now, that being said, please don't take much don't look at it too carefully right now in the first 2-3 weeks of school, because there's really hardly been any assignments, and so one missing assignment will really impact their grade a lot, and it really doesn't mean a lot right away. So don't really be too kind of concerned about the grade. If it's 100% right now, that's not necessarily, the way it's going to be. And if it's 50% right now, don't worry about that either. Curriculum of this class. The goal of this class is to cover and prepare your student for the CS-AP A test in May. Now we have a very high average. We've been quite successful. So last year, the average was well over 4.5. It was more like 4.7 or 4.8. It was ridiculously high, actually. So the averages have been quite high. And one of the reasons why it's so high is that we pretty much over prepare in this class. We actually cover not only the CSA material, but the CSB material, which is no longer even an AP test. The CSAPB was an AP test many, many years ago, but they more recently they just got rid of it. But we still, in this class at Lynbrook specifically, we cover this material. So they get so much more that by the time they take the CS-APA test, for most students, it's just ridiculously easy. So we will cover, we do all of the programming in Java in this class. We cover, basic data types, basic operators. We talk about the basic program controls, iterations, conditionals. We talk about the basic objects, strings, lists, iterators, arrays, and array list. This is the CS-APA material. We cover objects, of course, and the whole concept of object-oriented programming. We talk about programming from a procedural standpoint, an object-oriented standpoint, and we also talk about recursion as well. Then we move, actually from around December and on, we move into the CSB material. So if you heard me, that means that we cover the CSA material from August to end of November. And from then on, we move into the CSB material. And then we come back and we do a little bit of review in April in preparation for the CSA AP test. But coming back to the CSB material, we cover basic data structures. We cover linked list, we cover binary trees, we cover stacks, queues, hash tables. We talk about searching algorithms, sorting algorithms using these different data structures, and we talk about the algorithmic performance of different searches and sorts using these data structures as well. And then we finish off the year, the last month of the year, we do a big final project. The student expectation is that there are quite a bit of lab time in class to do the reading and to do exercises. So they just need to be productive in class. I would recommend, we typically give about a week in general on average to finish most lab assignments. And my recommendation is that the students start right away. If there's any difficulties at the beginning, then there's plenty of time to ask questions. If you start right at the last day and you just really just haven't had time to digest it all, there's no time to really then ask me for any help. So my main kind of advice, expectation is to ask questions early, start the lab assignments once they've been assigned, and not wait right to the day of it being due. In terms of materials, we know now all the students come with some sort of computing device. Now, in this particular class, we do recommend a PC or Mac type of computer. A Chromebook will not work. It will not be able to run VS Code and Java. So we recommend a PC or Mac. Now, if your student doesn't have one of these, our school can offer that to you. So just have your student talk to me, and I'll arrange to kind of get that PC or laptop to you. Okay? If your student needs additional help, There's tutorial on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And please, please, please encourage your student to just contact me at any time, in the middle of the week, outside of class, whenever. Email me, ask for help on homework, on labs, and I will typically respond very promptly to them. If you have any questions at all, please email me at mark_kwong@fuhsd.org. That completes this back to school night. So again, if you have any questions, please let me know. I hope that your student has a fun time in this class, and I wish them the best success.